Hey, good evening. Let's talk family. Tonight we have a very honorable guest. Proud to announce, bring him, introduce him. Somebody I've been watching from afar for a minute, which is interesting. And within itself is Brother Baseem Abdul Aziz from Developing New Life's Direction LLC. And tonight we gonna just talk a little bit about himself and the organization that he runs, and just men and people or people in general dealing with hidden trauma and how we should be able to manage the day to day life. What's going on, Bessie?
What's going on, my brother? Let's
Hey,
dive in. Let's dive in. Let's get in. A little bit background about myself. Retired correction officer. After retirement, I became a life coach. Created Development Life's New Direction LLC. Uh, Currently, I'm working with men and women dealing with trauma. Myself, being a Gulf War veteran, suffered trauma myself. And I found myself in a depressive stage of using alcohol. And it went mash for quite some time due to the fact of working in a high risk job as corrections. Majority of my coworkers was heavy drinkers anyway. So
hmm
therefore, it was nothing to go that was unnormal. And I self medicated for years until approximately 2009. I woke up and I was just like, I don't want to drink no more. And that was my turning point, where as though I embraced my religion of Islam and I start moving forward. You know,
I
just
know
trying
I know
to
a
me.
lot of a lot of so you started your organization before you realized about the trauma.
No, I start
Or after.
after I started my
Okay.
organization in 2017 on my way out the door of retirement. You know,
Okay. So
so
so being you was God for a veteran, and then dealing with the day to day life of being a correction officer, you started uh self medicating yourself, dealing with your own trauma. When did you realize like it was a problem?
when I woke, I was waking up with a bottle of liquor in my back pocket. It wasn't a breakfast; it was a bottle of liquor. And then I had different issues I was dealing with, as far as aircraft and things wake me up out my sleep. I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. You know, and I was like, I was tired, I guess.
Yeah.
And I went to the VA to get some help. And sat down with therapists and psychiatrists. And now that the alcohol is gone, here they come and they giving me a ton of medication. And I was like, this got to be a sham. It has to be. When all of a sudden I'm like, I can choose what dose of medication that you gonna give me. Are you serious? You gonna run around and I'll be a full fledged junkie for real.
hmm
So my faith is strong, and like I said, I begin to understand myself better. You know,
It's amazing that and we would say, alhamdulillah, that you was able to identify that. Hold up, y'all trying to give me medication, and I'm leaving one vice to go to another vice. No, 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 no. We can't
absolutely,
have this. And it
absolutely.
happens, with so many people. They may have a surgery. Next thing you know, they're addicted to pain medication and so forth and so on. So
Well,
you,
I seen a special. I believe it was Showtime HBO. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it was showing the same medications that they gave me, and I'm just like, wow. And what happened to them? One guy, he came off the medication, but he was shooting heroin.
mm,
until he end up overdosing. And the medication is so strong that they advise you not to just stop taking it. So I was like, I can't put that in my system.
Yeah, that's interesting. That I'm like I said, alhamdulillah, you were able to identify with what was going on. So then, I don't explain to people the life of a correctional officer with dealing with the stress of that job, and just because I don't think a lot of people know. I think a lot of times I think people may think it's glorified. It's
well,
just a job.
well, being a correction officer, everything is like a day by day situation because you never know what type of day you're going to have. Sometimes you can get to work and the tension in the building can be so deep that when you walk in the building, you can feel it. It's like the hairs on your neck stand up and you be like, yo, something getting ready to happen, you know? Or you might be having a conversation and then you hear the whooper go off. Next thing you know, you see a guy running. He just finished getting stabbed up. It's like you just don't know what's going to happen from 1 minute to the next. And for the inmate, it definitely has to be it's deep psychological thing for an inmate because on one hand, you have an opportunity with the solitude to actually do some soul searching. But then you always on high alert because you don't know who got a beef with who. You might be hanging with the wrong person. And let's be honest, then you also have those that might not be that strong and they become prey.
It's funny when you say that is because I've been on the other side of that wall, and one thing I can say today is you do what some people say you do what you got to do to get by, to get through.
Yes, they
And
do.
one of the things that I did was become emotionally bankrupt.
Hmm.
Cut that emotion off. This is what it is.
You have no time
Um,
for it. You have no time to deal with your emotions.
yeah, you're in the as they say, this is a big boy sport, and you're dealing with everybody trying to display their level of masculinity that they think they need to display. So
Well,
you need to you need to navigate through BS.
absolutely, but a lot of times you find out who's who for real. Because it reminds you of going from college to the NFL. You can be an all star in college, but when you get to the NFL, everybody's an all star. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to jail, it's a lot of killers right here. You see what I'm saying? So it might not be nothing special about you,
Hmm. Yeah,
but the different traumas that you're going to experience over a period of time is heavy.
yeah.
Some of the things that I've seen from working inside an institution, people don't believe me when I say it. They be like, "Nah, you got to be kidding." No, I'll be like, "No, for real." You know, and
What's funny, Baseem, is right. I like I said, been through the experience, and I remember at one time I used to tell people when I come home, I tell people crazy stories, and they'd be like, "Nah, I wouldn't believe." And I realized just recently, like I don't talk about none of that stuff no more. Like I left it there. Like and that was part of what I believe was for me letting it go,
well,
just not even talking about it.
uh, and that's part of what I do. As a coach of dealing with trauma, you have to learn to let it go. 90% of us live in yesterday, not understanding there's nothing you can do to change what happened yesterday because yesterday has came and has went. Only thing you control is your presence. and you can prepare for tomorrow if it comes. But that's not promised neither.
Yeah.
And we really have to stop visiting yesterday unless we're going to visit yesterday for some confirmation to move forward today.
Yeah, I
But
like that. Stop visiting yesterday.
if you're going to keep reliving your pains of yesterday, you can't grow. You can't move forward. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and
So you, so, so you was in that spot, man. It's amazing. Even talking to you, I never, and I had some good relationship with some officers that was there, and
mhm,
they were a lot of them are very, what I would say, instrumental in who I am today, because you never know the drink that somebody gonna leave you or give you the impression of, like, yo, you brothers is needed out here on society. Y'all don't need to be wasting your life behind a wall. So did
absolutely,
you did you ever find yourself like, I see something in this individual, but I don't need to say nothing to him. I need him to come to me so I could drop something on him, but I don't. How was that? Because what you do now, as you said, basically this was who you are. You like
absolutely,
this.
absolutely,
This is,
and
as we would say, this is who you were created to be.
right. I actually, they have in Newark. We have the returning citizen group. They meet on Thursdays, and I usually go and I participate when I can. And like I said, the embrace that I get, and they've been like, "Yo, you've been helping us all this time. You still here?" And they call me brother. You know, whatever they got, whatever they getting, yo, come on, you are brothers for you too. Because my whole philosophy of being a CEO was firm, fair, and consistent. Whatever you supposed to get, you're gonna get. And I'm not letting them people come over here on this wing with no BS. And
Yeah,
it's been plenty of guys that be like, yo, appreciate you. You know, I had guys fall out with me, yo, I'm bidding off. Oh, like, because I need a change. They like, yo, how you gonna do that to us?
mm,
No, that's not no relationship like that, though. It's a business.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
when it comes time for you to go home, you and I'll be like, yo, where you going? You be like, I'm going home.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For people in the chat, it's the level of Basim mentioned the level of consistency, and for a guy that may be doing time, it seems like every day is different, but for them, it's a pattern of behavior, and it could be so much as an officer going on vacation. Them 2 weeks be seeming long for the guy that's
Absolutely.
incarcerated,
Absolutely.
and then you come back to your block, and that two or three guys don't want to lock up, and you be like, "What happened?"
Couldn't take it. Couldn't take the pressure.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like I said, but just like I said, I keep in contact with plenty of guys and just speaking to some guys, you know, and some of the things that they have seen over their incarceration period, you know, they have trouble sleeping, you know, you might find yourself with a knife by your bed, that's your shank. I even had a brother, he was saying, yo, I went out to dinner with the family. He said, I finished eating, I grabbed my spoon, start wiping off, put it in my pocket.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm like, wow,
yeah. It's that deep.
it is.
That
The
deep.
psychological effect that prison have on people, the average person is not going to understand that. When you go in that cell and that door lock and you in this box, you could only move around but so much. And if you got a cellie in there, that's even worse. I mean, it's cool because you're gonna have somebody to have some conversation with, but then It's foul because when he got to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
you gonna have to suck that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing you can do about
Nothing. And nothing he could do about it. It's
it.
just
Because he got to go, and then later on,
it,
when it's your turn, he got to deal with that.
it's the new normal, as they would say.
Right,
Um, so you at the end of you at the end of your term, you about to retire. Now you like, man, I gotta retire. I gotta do something, and I ain't trying to really work for nobody.
right. Well, right before retirement, me and one of my brothers, we talked all the time. Another correction officer, he started going to school to become an herbalist, which he's doing a great job right now. And I was like, maybe I should just be a life coach, but I never knew it was actually a thing of a life coach. And I went to Google and put it in. It popped up. I was amazed, and I found a school. It was one of the top schools in the nation. I went. I did my 3 modules, completed, got my certification, and I began to create my company on my way out the door.
Wow. So now you got the company and this now you hands on you certified and not only that like you said you were preparing Allah was preparing you for this for a long time to be able to have conversations to be able to as we would say redirect somebody's thinking.
Right,
Um
and that was part of the business plan, developing life's new direction because we changing the course of the direction of where you're going. Because if you come to me, there's a problem somewhere. You've been trying to fix that problem, but for whatever reason, you haven't been able to fix that problem. That's why you're reaching out to me so we can start fixing that problem.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
through a
So
different,
so let
through a
me
different,
ask you I got one pressing question to
okay.
ask you. You know, I'll be thinking about this because your organization deals with men and women. Is there any differences that are distinct with how both how the sexes deal with the trauma?
Well, women are more forthcoming in order to get help. As men, like I said, we deal with a lot of pride and ego. So we will continue to put a mask on every day. And when somebody asks us, well, what's wrong? I'm good. I'm all right. But you're broken. You don't know how to ask for help.
Yeah,
And that's one of the number one things in a lot of relationships. He don't know how to talk because he's broken already and he don't know how to get help. So of course, he's going to sabotage his relationship.
yeah. So like he might be individual. He might go to work every day, and all he ever thought about dealing being a man was just taking care of his family. But he's yet to ever display any type of emotion towards his wife or kids.
Right.
And he may
You know what it is them deep secrets. Everybody has a past, and sometimes, depending on what type of trauma he's dealing with, you know, like I said, for us as people of color, we become numb to a lot of trauma. When you run in them streets, which I ran as well, you seeing somebody get shot, somebody get stabbed, you try to normalize it that it's normal, but it's not normal. You just seen dude brain on the sidewalk or in the street, and you like, wow, oh that's messed up. But you trying to make it normal, and that's a big part of what's going on with our young men now. They have been desensitized where they're making everything normal, and it's not normal. They don't play Black Ops and other video
Call
games,
of Duty.
Call of Duty and Street Fighter or whatever, to where as though it's normal for them now.
They don't understand it. This ain't a
But they don't
video game.
understand. They don't understand
These are real bullets. That's
these
a
real
real
bullets.
life you took.
Ain't no reset. We can't hit reset. Yo, this game, this the forever game right here. And it's sad a lot of them don't realize it until they're in a situation.
Yeah, yeah, right before I sent you the link, I was looking at something on the news with these guys. I think it was either Jersey or either California, where these guys, younger brothers, they just was in like a smash and grab at a jewelry store. It was about 12 of them. I'm just looking like,
Mm.
in all my crazy thoughts and stuff that I done did in the past, I never even thought of doing nothing that crazy. I didn't even have enough friends that would be willing to do nothing like that. Somebody would have talked us off the ledge, like, no, we ain't doing that. Like,
Well, you know, unfortunately, we're living in the gang era now. You know, even if you ain't in the gang, you're associated with the gang, and you have to understand who's making the decisions. And all those are supposed to be big homies and all that, for the most part, they incarcerated or they dead. So
yeah,
you have somebody with an immature mind trying to make a grown man decision. So it's like the blind leading the blind.
and not worried about the consequences.
No, they worry about them after the fact, and then you all boo hoos and tears when they tell you no, that's 30 years. No, that's life. You're not never coming home. And it's gonna take a few years for it to sink in. And then I can guarantee you for the most part, they'll be on the med line. They'll be receiving meds.
It's funny you say it, and it's like it's coming back to me. Like I used to see it where I was at, and you know, see certain situations, see people come in one way, leave the other. And I'll tell you, in all my experience, I saw one guy from the Essex County area, and he was wild in there. Like I wouldn't think he would have made it out on the street long. And I was working in East Orange, and I seen him, and I called him by the name that he wanted people to call him when we were away. He was like, "Please don't ever call me that again." And
Wow.
I called him by his birth name because I knew, because I was the wing rep at the time.
Okay.
And he was like, "Yeah, I left all that alone, man." He was with his family. He's like, "I left all that alone." He's like,
But,
something just clicked in his head and just said, "Yo, it's time to get it together."
but you have to understand, for a lot of guys, when you hit that prison, you create a facade and you make up your mind that this is who I'm gonna be, and you gotta roll with that. You're big for the most part.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
I seen cats come in, run around here, Hulk Hogan big and all that, just as sweet as they wanted to be though. You know, it was like,
Hmm.
oh man, oh, I be, you know,
you, you,
you know,
you doing some crazy stuff. You got a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you, like I asked you about the men and the women. One of the things that I had asked you behind the scenes is the fear of a lot of men not wanting to admit that they may have some issues because of, if I expose myself, now I don't got vulnerable, and I don't want my vulnerability to be weaponized.
well, that's a big part, you know, and that's why I created a group on
That's a question for you right there too.
okay. Shay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna definitely get at your question. I'm going to I created Men Dealing with Hidden Secret Trauma as a group on Facebook just for men, because women have a lot of outlets. As men, we don't have a lot of outlets, you know. So therefore, we don't have that intimate space where we can share as men. So I created that group, Men Dealing with Hidden Secret Trauma, just in order for us to just have at least one place where we can come and we can share and get some men feedback
Yeah,
without being judged.
yeah. and as we say, being able to peel those layers back, and you're gonna get what you're gonna get. Brothers are definitely gonna give you the advice that you need or you seeking.
Right.
So
So
Shay, so Shay asked you. She said, Basim, how can we help Black men recognize they have trauma?
black men have to recognize they have trauma themselves. You know, we see things all the time. Your woman know more about you than you know about yourself sometimes. But what happens is we like I said, we put a mask on every day. Until we ready to live in our truth of who we are and deal with what we have going on, we're gonna be stuck.
Mm. So based off your answer, it's no way like unless that person is doing some self identification, it's no way like
But
like
it's just like anything else. You gotta want the help. Only
okay.
way only way you can get help, you have to want help. That's just like a drug addict. If I'm on drugs and and I gotta want to get clean, you can want me to get you like, bro, come on, you're a good brother. You need to stop using. Until I'm ready, it's not gonna happen. That's just like myself dealing with alcohol. Until I woke up and I was like, I don't want to drink no more. I was gonna get drunk.
Yeah, I was sharing that with you about my situation with being tired of going behind them walls and making certain changes, and I told you I didn't, you come home and you got the master plan and you done planned your life out, and but you don't take certain steps, and then with this last situation that I was in, I took a step that I didn't realize was the step, and I did something. I ain't gonna say it was unintentionally, it was intention, but it was intention for what I set myself up for now. And it's been like, wow, I'm removed from that lifestyle.
Well,
I hear about it, but I don't know nothing about it no more.
absolutely. But what that's the key though. You have to if you keep sticking your hand in a snake pit and you keep getting bit, in order not to get bit, you gotta not stick your hand in the snake pit.
And it's funny because I remember all the because New Jersey, I can say honestly, with some of the things that they have set up with the reentry programs, that if you really, really want it, it's some people that'll help you, and then even extend it once because people know, you got guys that been through what you've been through, like you say yourself, you was there, and I always used to hear one thing: you'll get tired when you get tired, and
Absolutely.
and that is one of the phrases that always stick with me. Be like, yo, when you get tired of starting all over again, for the guys that as I will always say, they doing life on an installment plan. They doing 5 years here, 4 years here, 3 years here. Next, they've been gone for 25 years altogether.
Well,
They'll get tired when they get tired.
majority of the guys I was dealing with had a 30 with a 30, or they had a 30 with a life. And them are the guys that's coming home now. And I have to be honest, majority of them came home with their head on, but I guess they would because they don't have no time to waste. Here it is, you coming home at 50 plus trying to start life. You ain't got no time to be doing no trial runs and all. No, I got to make this work because I
Hmm.
might not get another shot.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So how's everything going with your organization, and
So,
is it going in the direction you expected it to go, or better?
no, it's going well. Like I said, it depends on what your trauma is. Like I said, because there are a host of traumas. I can't, what might be traumatic to me might not be traumatic to you. So trauma is what the individual deems to be trauma for the most part. You know, You can go outside and see somebody get shot and be like, yo, dude just got shot. No emotions, no nothing.
She had another question for you. She said, in your opinion, are you in agreement with the statement, not everyone has trauma?
Absolutely not. I believe everyone has some form of trauma, especially if people of color. We was born into trauma. Since it's Black History, we might as well discuss it. You know, absolutely. And here we are in 2022, and we are still dealing with the residues of what our forefathers went through.
Yeah.
It might not be at the same level, but we still dealing with that. And the one who endured the most trauma was the Black woman. Nobody endured trauma like the Black woman. She endured all types of pain. And then next to her would be the Black man. The things that was done to us. And like I said, it's 2022. There's a lot of things still going on. We're still being violated. We still don't have the
Yeah.
right. We still fighting for human rights. It was just a few weeks ago. What's his name? Mitch McConnell. He made a statement because they're talking about voting in Georgia, and they're trying to get all the voting straight. And he made a statement. He said, "Well, African Americans vote just as much as Americans." What we need the separation for? So he
Yeah.
put us on notice that we separate. We're not the same. And this is what we have to do. We have to wake up as people and understand that we're not the same. We got to
Yeah.
start getting together and getting what we got to get for us, but we still have the crab and barrel mentality.
It's like when you're dealing with that, like for the people that got sons and young men, you always got to give your son the talk. And I grew up I grew up with people that weren't African American,
Well,
and to tell it to for me to tell them now that I got to give my son the talk after I was given the talk, and they be
well,
like, "What you mean the talk?" I'm like, "Listen, if you're black, you know what the talk is."
well. I'm so glad that you said that. I have a 20-year-old son, so I've been giving the talk. I'm still giving the talk as much as I can. I'm going to continue to get the talk because I need to make sure I can try to save his life. It's up to him, but I do everything that I can do to try to save his life.
Shay says she gives her daughter the talk.
Absolutely, as you should, because our young ladies are in the same situations than our boys now. The way the streets is now, they both getting the same thing. They will shoot her just as quick as they will shoot him.
Basim, I don't know if this would be like your wheelhouse, right? But I'm quite sure you identify with the discrepancy in, I would say, our age group. I know you're a couple years older than me, and how the younger generation, and I try myself not to be too preachy. I listen to the younger piece, and my son's 25.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I noticed, and I don't have any statistical data to back this opinion up right now. Is I noticed how it appears to me more violence in young black couples than I've
Right.
ever seen. I don't remember it like this. Not where Joker's just killing everybody, the baby mother, the wife, or just
But you have to understand a new mindset. One, you have the gang culture. Two, you have to listen to his music that he's listening to. His music is all about kill him up, kill him up. Then he's playing the video game, kill him up, kill him up, kill him up. So killing is on his mind. And the difference between their generation and ours, like I tell most brothers, we grew up on ego and pride. Their generation is feelings and emotion.
mm,
So what happened, and you start to see it with the woman being well, excuse me, pardon me, with the man being absent from the house, your sons took on more of the characteristic of the woman. So just imagine if you come home, you tell your woman, "Oh, I'm gonna smack you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." She gonna go to the kitchen and get the equalizer
Yeah,
because she already like,
yeah,
"Oh, he big. I can't win."
yeah.
So what are our young men and our daughters doing now?
Going to go get the equalizer.
They're going to get the equalizer. If you come up on the block and you like, I'm gonna smack you. I'm gonna do. I got something for you. Stay right there.
Mm. What 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 could we do?
Well,
What could we do before if I had a situation where I live at and I see some stuff before I can even direct them to you, like you need to, I can get your number. Like before I do all that, what are some of the things that I can do just as
well,
somebody that sees something day to day dealing with people?
I'm gonna say this like this because right before the COVID shut everything down a little bit a few months ago, I was there's a group, New Direction, made up of a lot of gang members, but they trying to right they wrong. So they reached out to me, and we hit some blocks and different things. They're trying to right their wrongs and help the younger brothers understand this ain't the road you want to go down. You still have a chance to salvage your life and make something of your life. Take it from me. And as men got to start being men again. We
Mm,
got to start coming outside. We got to start getting involved. I look at a lot of brothers and they be like, ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Did the Lord don't intend for me to have? Okay, well, if ain't nothing gonna happen, let's get outside. Let's get to work.
yeah, and that's one of the things, and I don't want to take the conversation there, but you do see that a lot of our social organizations, our churches, masters, synagogues, they too busy in them buildings, and they ain't out amongst the people and really, as we would say, doing the Lord's work.
Right.
Uh,
Well, the thing is, somebody got to take the lead. So I can't wait for the E-man to come off the minbar and be like, okay, we going on the block today. You know, okay, you gonna govern the masjid? I'm gonna go out here and govern the streets. I'm gonna see
yeah,
the young brother and be like, excuse me, little brother, can I holler at you for a minute before we start this discussion? Could you pull your pants up?
yeah.
You know,
It's amazing because it's like if you don't do it then, if you don't do it now, you'll wind up 20 years from later the same guy that you could have or individual you could have redirected. He gonna be the same one that might be putting a knife in your back.
he might
Uh,
be. He
yeah,
might be. But like I said, we have to stop being scared of these kids. And that's what's really happening. The kids are reaping so much trauma. Parents, you got parents don't even deal with their kids.
Shay said, I think the best approach is empathy and having some type of alternative. I'm down to help.
That's a good look right there. That's what it's all about. We got to get together and we got to come up with a plan. But like I said, you can't push up on you. You got to look. I'm so and so. Look, can we talk? I'm just trying to figure. I want to understand you. And
Yeah,
a lot of us, we like, yo, I don't understand who they are. They weird to us. And indirectly, they talking about we weird.
yeah. We don't became the get off my lawn type of people and
Right.
not realize that we were once 16, 17, 18-year olds making
Well,
these
it was
bad
a
decisions.
it was a different time because at that particular time we were dealing with a village. You know, if Miss Jones seen you doing something on the block, Miss Jones pushing up on you. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying?
funny. It's funny you said that because that's one of my biggest things is that when I talk to people and I and even people that's my age, some of them be like, I don't believe in the village concept. I'll be like, huh?
Yeah, because for me, when that real traumatic the trauma kicked in, crack cocaine. That was the super trauma era because children lost mothers, children lost fathers. Mothers lost their children. Crack destroys a lot of lives.
It's funny you brought that up. Is that I saw because of the president's new drug initiative, and a lot of people have been posting on social media about, are they going to give crack pipes to drug addicts? And I think it's a little bit deeper than that. However, that's even thinking it's a joke or us laughing at it is part of dealing with that trauma from a lot of us are kids from that generation, and
Right.
those things may seem funny, but that era brought the No Early Release Act era and the
Well,
2C era.
right. But like I said, 1980, I was what? Probably like 13, 12, something like that, somewhere in there. But it became life changing when crack cocaine hit. Because before then, as people of color, we were on the rise.
Hmm.
We was buying homes, we had good jobs. That crack hit,
Took us
everything
out.
just dropped. It was just like the stock market. It went down, and we still haven't recovered because once they start coming off the crack, they push the dope out there. From the dope, they push them pills out there.
It's funny. My mother once told me when the late '80s, early '90s, she told me she was like, this when people used to be messing with those pills, those
Mhm.
uppers and downers, and she said to me, she was like,
Pancakes and syrup.
all she kept saying was, I'm going to advise you and your friends never to do that. And I'm like, okay. She was like, no. She was like, this stuff right here is nothing but a gateway to heroin because she had seen
Right,
how heroin had ravaged her generation in the '70s. And lo and behold, this is what happened. And, it's like a vicious cycle in our community that just keeps going around and around with what we would call shuttle two narcotics.
right. Well, I kind of like remember it like it was yesterday. A lot of cats was on pills,
Yeah.
and when the price of the pills shot up,
Hmm.
the bag of dope was cheaper, and they pretty much was the same high.
Hmm.
And that was the new heroin addicts.
Yeah. USVs and all. I remember that stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
was a kid, but I remember like it was yesterday.
You know, but like I said, with my program, I have a 12-week program, where I take my client from A to Z, in 12 weeks. Each week we'll work on something new, and my belief is it has to come from inner. Until you put the inner work in, you're going to be lost. Because as long as you're trying to heal outside of yourself, you can't. Because you're so focused on what's going on out there, you're not focusing on what's going on in here. So therefore, we have to put that inner work in, and you have to find out who you are. You have to start turning on your internal lights.
Somebody comment in Arabic. I can't translate it.
Yeah,
This thing don't have it. The chat don't have a translator, but
good luck for me too.
they
Uh,
can't. they commented in some Arabic. I can't translate what they saying. Um, yeah, that's it. So. What's next? I know me and yourself, we gonna try to work on some things that should be very beneficial going forward. So let me ask you: have you seen an increase in your clients since COVID?
Yeah, definitely, because you definitely have a lot of people that's dealing with issues. Definitely, But the thing is, for you to recognize it, and like myself, most people will try to self medicate themselves and go through what they're going through until they realize, like, I need help.
Okay, okay,
And when you need help, I'm here to help you. We
great,
can go
great,
ahead, sit down,
great.
work some
So
things.
so tell us how to get in touch with you, Basim.
Well, you can reach me on Facebook, Baseem Abdul Aziz, Instagram, Baseem Abdul Aziz, my webpage, www New Direction. God, I'm bugging.
New life direction. New life direction.
Okay. De- Development Lights New Direction.com. Uh, you can also reach me at 908-416-2934.
With that, we're gonna close the show and know that on this platform, Basim, this may be the first time that you see him, but it definitely won't be the last, inshallah. And we're gonna try to work on some things behind the scenes so we could do this more frequently and have people come on and just do what we say we do, men being men, and bring some things that it could be beneficial to the viewer as well.
Well,
Basim, stay on into in to the closeout, all right?
no problem.